nobody's mic was there, so they couldn't hear us talking in the background. And then when we started, I switched scenes.
Volume's up on my phone.
Alright, they can see our faces now and hear our voices.
My bun was crooked.
Hi, everybody!
Turn this down just a hair. 16.9, that sounds good.
Jeez. This has been a while.
It has indeed.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Everybody has it been like almost a year?
I think so.
Something like that.
When was the last time we uploaded to
anything
Spotify? I want to know when the last episode we uploaded. I think there's a completely unreleased recorded episode on my computer.
Is there really?
Yeah, that I didn't edit at all. It's still kind of there.
Just release the full thing.
Well, we were doing that on speaking of things that we didn't keep up with, the Patreon. I completely forgot I set up a Patreon for this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And was just like putting all of the unedited footage from the podcasts on there.
Nice.
For free. Like I wasn't asking anybody to pay for it because
right
now we're not making anything worth paying for. It's just three white dudes sitting down talking to each other. It's not
it's every podcast ever.
Something completely sensational and new.
That really is. That really is like 1/3 of all podcasts. Is just three white dudes sitting down talking.
I mean, at least
I like white ladies, white dudes, and then unspecified third category.
You know what's strange?
If Logan Paul can do it, we can do it.
Okay. I don't understand how they got.
Here he has video proof of aliens.
Really, Logan Paul has video proof of aliens.
Yep.
So does everyone if they just Google aliens on YouTube.
No, he's got the real deal, guys. He traveled to another country. He offered a guy $100,000 for this UFO footage. The guy wouldn't sell, but he would show it to him. So he had a sneaky secret camera in his glasses or something. He got the footage. He's got it, boys and girls. Confirmed 100%.
I would have taken his money and just showed him like a video of some. I found
farting in a jar.
Just show them one of those videos of monkeys at the zoo doing it.
Show them a really old VHS of Men in Black.
It's just an
Hell
edited
yeah, dude.
video that I
No,
put together.
the
of
specific
my alphabet.
the specific intro scene from Men in Black 2
When it's
with
really
the
crappy
little
animation.
cardboard UFO.
Yes.
Heck yeah, that's my proof of aliens right there.
You guys
All
want
I
to know
needed.
something sad?
What?
Never watched Men in Black.
Okay. Okay, forget Transformers. I'm making you watch Men in Black.
There's actually another podcast I listen to called Chilluminati has a series called Rotten Popcorn. Because one of their guys has never seen any movies either, like classic movies. So they call it Rotten Popcorn, and they just watch the movies and then upload the audio of them watching the movies. to their
Dude,
podcast.
yes, we should do that.
And then I think they
Just
post a
movie
video of them
commentary
reacting
tracks.
to it. I mean, I
Let
feel like
people-
I could give some good movie commentary.
Right? And it doesn't even have to be good. Like I follow 2 channels, Pretty Much It and Razzle on YouTube, that just kind of goof off and have a good time while watching the movies.
Chance, did you
They're
watch
great.
Did you watch Velocipaster with us?
No, but I've been wanting to watch it for a while.
We
Dude.
need to watch Velocipaster.
Dude, I'm gonna send a picture from my phone into the
The Void, the Ether, Tartarus itself.
what's the thing we're doing? What's it called?
Streaming?
The podcast.
Podcast? Oh yeah, professionals right here, bud.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Don't even remember what we're doing.
It's called something, I know that much.
The Kangae Stray Dogs chat.
Yeah, that one. There you go.
Which, how do you guys feel about the name Kangae Stray Dogs?
I like it still.
Because everybody I've mentioned it to has been like, "That's a weird name."
Yeah.
It's unique.
Is there
Sorry.
already just a regular Stray Dogs podcast?
Probably, if I had to guess.
Um,
A quick Google search would probably tell me.
Okay, real quick. I'm going to
No, actually.
we could just do the Stray Dogs podcast.
Wait. Oh, never mind. That's an album. It's called Stray Dog. Yeah, then we'd have to get the starting scene. The starting soon screen changed, which we can do.
Okay, really quickly. This right here is an actual screen cap from the movie.
Where is it? Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes.
Like, straight up in the movie, it plays the audio of dude's car blowing up, and it cuts to this, and it's just an empty lot with this text over it. I love it.
They did a really good job of making a shitty premise a really funny movie that was purposely shitty.
Agreed.
Okay. I want to do that thing. What's been eating you guys lately?
Oh yeah, that thing.
A lot.
Give me an example. Something not too personal that you're willing to
Oh,
share.
not too personal?
You're allowed to share personal things, but whatever you're willing to share. Because I'll tell you, what's been eating me lately is also fucking everything. But just mostly the way people treat each other online.
Yeah.
It just hurts me. Hurts my heart.
Feel that.
Especially when I scroll through Twitter and somebody has, I don't know. The one thing I saw the other day that just really confused me was who was it? Tina Turner that died recently.
I think so.
Tina Turner? I don't even know who that is.
Singer. Barack Obama put some kind of like memorial post on his Twitter that was like, "You were an amazing vocalist, amazing like person to look up to for the African American community in America. You'll be missed." And everybody in the comments section was like, "Are they going to say the same thing about you, Obama?"
Ooh.
It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Relax.
everybody's just so fucking pressed lately.
I mean, yeah, we're fucking working our lives away for nothing. Everyone's pissed off. Everything sucks.
Everything sucks, and nobody knows who to blame. So they just blame not Barack Obama, Joe Biden. Everybody's just like, it's Biden's fault. I don't see. There's so many people in charge of this country,
Bo Biden,
who have a lot more to do with this than Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Joe
Like,
Biden's
a
just
lot
fucking
more.
sitting on stage talking about ice cream during the wrong moments.
You see his most recent fall, by the way?
Yeah, somebody edited a picture of it. I think
That
it was.
guy's gotta stop giving the internet content, seriously.
I think it was an edited picture of Joe Rogan holding the mic up to him on the ground.
It was so good. Fucking, I love everything Joe Rogan posts. He posts the best shit.
Honestly, at this point, I just feel bad for the dude because he's just some random old guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's
really
just some
fucking
random old guy that
around.
happens to be one of the most widely videoed people in the world. Like,
He's a name with a bunch of money behind it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what a lot of politicians are.
I mean, yeah.
They all are.
They're all like weird clown people who live in their own little bubble of yes men who make up the rules for everybody else. That's something actually I'll talk about when we do that episode on BlackRock and Vanguard. Is they own the majority shareholds in almost every big company globally. And 3 of their CFOs or like the highest members in the company, 3 of their executives are on Joe Biden's cabinet right now.
Yeah, I got real deep into all of that when I was into conspiracies a few years ago.
The thing is, at this point, it's barely even a conspiracy.
Yeah, most of them aren't even conspiracies anymore. They're just fact.
Here's the distinction between conspiracy and conspiracy theory. Conspiracy is like that, it's either confirmed or might as well be confirmed. Like what you guys are talking about might as well be confirmed at this point. So conspiracy. Conspiracy theory is like fringe La La Land, like flat Earth.
There's not a whole lot of evidence at all for it.
No, but like
the problem is though, like stuff like Epstein's Island was off in La La Land for fucking years before anyone would even take it remotely serious, and then there's jail time and death, and there's a list that's not being released, and all this bullshit.
Well, and see, that's the thing, is like it can totally transition from La La Land to concrete, but
real quick.
But until you get that amount of evidence that's needed.
Well, and you also have to remember, we live in an age, got big, I'll say, in 2016, during the 2016 elections.
Mm-hmm.
The year Harambe died, R.I.P. Harambe.
Where people just won't believe concrete evidence.
Nope.
Yeah.
And with AI and all of that, and
it's getting harder too.
It's just harder and harder to make out what the fuck's real.
Yeah, well,
it's like that picture of the Pope in the poofy jacket.
Well, and we have people who just take what they see on Facebook or what Trump says at face value as fact,
and
it's
It's so
Go
much
ahead.
worse
Just a bunch
because,
of confirmation bias.
like, from real life, those are the same people that will tell you either don't believe everything you see online, don't trust mainstream media, or I don't trust online or mainstream media. But then they still spout everything from Facebook and Fox and stuff like that as 100% fact, and it's like,
Well, and
what's going on
the-
here?
I think it's even crazier that Fox News is like all of their texts and emails between each other got released, and they were just saying they didn't believe a single goddamn thing they were talking about. Any of the loonies they brought on, they didn't believe it, but they pretended like they did and spread it like they did.
Yep.
Well, have you guys seen the video that was edited together of every single major news organization basically saying the same spiel about misinformation and all this bullshit?
But the problem with that is that a lot of those were owned by the same parent company that gave them a prepared speech, not necessarily giving them like it wasn't a matter of distorting information. It was just here's something you can say about it.
Well, and we also have the fact that a lot of the big major news companies are owned by the same parent company. Some of them that have competing
They put out competing and conflicting views.
yeah, they put out
opinions.
competing opinions, and they're owned by the same people.
Yeah.
That's another conspiracy, is that they just want us to all hate each other.
Well, if we're busy fighting amongst each other, we won't bother going after the 1% that has 99% of our fucking wealth.
Well, somebody brought up a good point.
It's not even that anymore. It's like 0.6% that has 99%.
Well, somebody brought up a good point about TikTok and why they're gunning so hard to ban TikTok. If you search, for example,
it's unfiltered.
Well, here's the thing. If you search, for example, France on Google or
the fucking
YouTube, it's just going to be chill. Like, it's just going to be pictures of monuments and shit.
And like
If you search
vacation
it on
stuff.
TikTok,
I think someone's knocking on my door. I'll be right back.
If you search it on TikTok, you see all of the shit that's going down there right now. That's very, very similar to what's going on in America that nobody's doing anything about.
Yep.
But the people in France are trying to do something about it because France has a culture of revolution.
I mean, technically speaking, we do too. It's just some of us are well, and some of us that are still hooked on the whole "hey, revolution is our heritage" thing are the wrong kind of revolution. They're thinking like mid 1800s revolution.
Yeah. They're thinking like
it's
the fucking rebels. Oh my god! When I see somebody with a rebel flag,
yeah,
I just don't get it. Especially when they're the same people that are spitting the freedom and democracy and I love my country.
It's when they're driving their pickup truck and the back window is the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, and then on one side they got a pole with the U.S. flag, and then one side they've got a pole with the Confederate flag, and it's like, which side are you on?
You gotta tell us what side you're on here, because I'm confused.
It can't be both. Like, one is the Union, one is not the Union.
The people who tried to destroy the country.
Yeah, literally tried to make their own country instead of. It's. And then people want to get into the semantics of like, oh, it was a battle flag of specific Virginia troops or whatever, and it's like, okay, but they were still fighting.
Yeah,
like,
for the
it's
wrong
still.
They were forgetting.
Still the same thing.
They were fighting against the country you love so much.
Right, and then you got the people that are like, oh, it wasn't. It was. They were fighting for states' rights, and it's like, states' rights to what?
Own slaves.
Like,
own slaves.
When it comes down to it, that's what it was about.
That's how you know. The reason you know it was about that, they weren't fighting until somebody said you can't own slaves anymore. Then they got all up in arms.
I mean, yeah,
Hi, Chance.
it's a whole thing.
It just doesn't make any sense to me, man. I just think everybody
None whatsoever.
is in such a volatile state right now.
Yeah.
That first off, I don't like this country anymore.
Yeah.
I remember
many people
growing
do.
up. I remember growing up and being raised with the thought of this is a great country. I actually believed it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then I
real
became
quick, it's
yeah.
not.
Then I became an adult and it
Yeah.
fucking sucks here.
The more you learn about it, the more you learn about it and see things happening, it's like, wait a second. So long as you don't voluntarily pull wool over your own eyes.
Well, and we have, the whole college tuition should be free, and then people being like, okay, but why should like truck drivers and burger flippers have to pay for somebody's degree?
They're not. They're paying for like 0.1%
Yeah.
of someone's degree. Like,
Well, and have you ever noticed how when somebody brings up like a democratic socialist viewpoint, the amount of money it costs is put in the span of 10 or 20 years.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when then there's a Republican viewpoint that's brought up, it's talked about in a 1-year span.
Yeah. Of course.
Every time.
Every time.
It's just to make this option, which is ultimately the better option, seem like the worst option.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's
and
better for everybody.
it's always a matter of people also want to always think of it as a matter of just adding something else to what taxes pay for versus reallocating taxes.
Oh yeah. Our
Like,
taxes should not be put to so much fucking death and destruction and war.
yeah,
Literally, what is it? If we took 300 billion off of it, we would still have 200 billion more than the other leading countries on
mhm,
our military budget.
something like that. I
And
don't
with that
remember how the
amount
math
we took
actually
out
works
of it,
out,
we
but
could solve a shit ton of our problems.
right?
And then, we have we'll have like universal health care, a better fixed income for
Which,
everybody.
hold on, that's another thing that I think is hilarious about the healthcare aspect of it is people are like, oh, I don't want to have my taxes raised for healthcare, and it's like, okay, but here's the thing: one, part of your taxes already goes to healthcare. Like, that's just how that works, whether you know it or not, whether you get any of that or not. That's how that works.
Mhm.
Two, all it would realistically do is just eliminate your privatized insurance bill.
That
It
you
would
have
be
to
less
pay-
money out of your pocket.
Yes.
Like, we could keep that all the same and just eliminate the privatized insurance companies, and you'd be paying less money out of pocket,
Privatized shit should not be privatized.
right?
Prisons, man.
Oh, that's the
Private
fucking
prison.
Yeah,
worst.
the fact that that's ever been a thing is just
Jesus.
talk about right in your face corruption that nobody talks about.
That's what
Well, they
America is, man.
found a legal way to get around to slavery.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Like,
That's America, baby. In your face corruption that nobody seems to give a fuck about because it's so normal.
you remember
Well, they normalized it.
you remember when we were taught that the pilgrims and the natives held hands and taught each other how to make certain foods and sat at a big table to
throwing typhoid blankets on each other.
right, like, it's like,
Catching
yeah, they
bodies and heads on fire. And
pilgrims
washing
came
them into
over
fucking
and
villages.
were welcomed by the natives that were
They
like,
shared a
hey, here's how
turkey
you
and
grow
some stuffing.
corn, and then it's like, oh, but
and
wait, hold on, that's not what happened at all.
well, and nobody tells you how bad we would have lost. Like, we would not be here if we didn't already live next to fucking barnyard animals and have
Right.
all of their diseases and germs in our
That's the
system.
big thing.
Mhm.
That's
if it
the
wasn't for
reason
the
we want.
disease, we wouldn't have colonized.
Yeah, there would be no colonization of America because they wouldn't have died to all our diseases that we brought over.
Right?
Yeah, because otherwise they were kicking our asses, right?
Absolutely. We would have been absolutely destroyed. Because not only, you know, we did have guns, right?
But they were
But we had
slow.
slow single shotguns,
Right.
Yes, shooting guns.
That malfunctioned about 30% of the time.
They knew the land
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
better
Well, it's
than
the same-
anybody.
It's the same with the Vietnam War. Like, it's literally the exact same, except we didn't get to bring over all our diseases during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
We brought a few, but they weren't lethal.
They weren't nearly as bad as initial colonization.
You know what I
I'll be
find
right back.
kind of crazy?
Hmm.
My youth pastor,
Mm-hmm.
scrolling through Facebook, sharing a bunch of pride stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He made a post
Mm-hmm.
that was talking about why, we shouldn't hate on gay people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's surprising. And then I put a comment on that post about something like the be more like Jesus comment I heard in church all the time is meaning less and less to a lot of churches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he posted on that and he was like, preach. Put Christ.
The preacher said.
Put Christ
Put
back in
Christ-
Christianity.
Put Christ back in Christian.
Hell yeah, dude.
Take it out of Christmas, put it back in the Christian. Every single Christmas, there's that fucking war on Happy Holidays versus Merry Christmas. Shut the fuck up. They mean the same thing if you celebrate Christmas and somebody tells you Happy Holidays. They're saying Merry Christmas to you.
It's just a more broad term. Like,
The holidays encompasses every holiday celebrated around that season.
it's literally winter holidays. Like,
It'd be like being mad if someone said howdy instead of greetings.
right?
Greetings,
Like
my
now
brother
you
in
have to
Christ.
say it the way I want you to say it.
You know that they're boycotting Chick-fil-A now, the most homophobic company I know.
Well, maybe not the most, but
One of the most
Yeah.
openly homophobic.
the most homophobic fast food company.
Yeah.
What did it say?
Because they're still like Prager U and stuff like that.
They're
The church is
boycotting.
technically a company, right?
And technically,
church.
I mean, if it brings in
Just
money,
in general,
They don't pay taxes. So.
organized religion.
they don't
Yeah,
pay
well.
taxes.
That doesn't mean
That
they're
was a
not a
good point.
business. They're fucking making money, okay?
Okay, but
Yeah.
no, Chance,
A lot
there's the
of
thing
money.
is businesses don't pay taxes either.
I mean, true.
Because all of their stuff is like theoretical or whatever. It's that loophole that they found to make billions and billions and billions of dollars a year.
That's the fucking comment I always see when people talk about eat the rich. Well, they don't have that much money. All of their money is in assets. Okay? That means they have the money in assets. What's
Right.
the difference? It's still there. They're just not paying taxes on it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's just stocks. Okay.
They're literally just trading money around. Just,
Yes.
Mhm.
Here's a little for you. I'll get a little from you, and then hey, remember when I gave you that money? Well, guess what? I got a thing now. You might be interested.
Well, and it comes back to fucking BlackRock and Vanguard again. That goes on in the government.
Mhm.
These companies who own a shit ton of stock in military weapons, food, health, gas and oil companies, they are in high positions of power not only in their company but in the government. So they can say, well, this hurts our business, so we can't pass that law.
That's another thing, back to what we said before about the whole if one side gets in trouble, the other should too. Well, good. Insider trading. People
Mhm.
want to bring up, like, oh, what about all these senators that are doing the insider trading thing? They should get in trouble for it. And then the other side's all like, oh, well, what about all your senators? And the first one's like, yeah, good. I said all the senators, didn't I?
The best one
It's
is the
like-
people who are doing it, not condoning it. They're like, this is
Right.
a real problem that we have to take care of.
Like,
Meanwhile, I have a $600 million
like frickin'
net
Pelosi and
worth
stuff.
while I'm making fucking $100K a year. But this is a real bad thing. These guys are doing it.
I've
not
got a
me.
government
I wouldn't
salary
do
of
it. But
$84,000
these
a
guys
year.
over here, for sure.
See, this is the fucking. I don't even remember what I was gonna say anymore because I'm so mad.
Do we want to talk about happy stuff?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about happy stuff. Transformers is coming out Friday.
Oh yeah, the Beast Wars. I've heard
Yeah.
it's really good.
Really?
Was the trailer I saw for a live action One Piece movie fake?
Probably.
No?
No.
They're
That's
really doing
why-
it?
Oh yeah, and I'm super excited because all of the actors
Mm-hmm.
love the manga a
Fuck
lot.
yes.
In fact, the guy who's playing Sanji
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is
has
the one that you
been
told me
training-
about.
Yeah, the guy who's
Okay.
playing Sanji has been training in Taekwondo kicks for the last 2 years
And prep?
to play the role of Sanji.
Fuck yes. I want this motherfucker to be able to kick down a fucking telephone pole.
It's fucking incredible the amount of work they're putting into knowing the characters. Because most of the time, anime
That's
movies
what we need.
suck. Yeah,
That's what we need. The Dragon Ball movie fucking sucked.
Death Note.
Did you guys watch that?
Sucked.
yes,
It's hot trash.
it's garbage.
Wait, which one?
Awful.
Dragon Ball movie.
Which one?
There were more. Evolution. Dragon Ball
Evolution. Okay, I thought maybe there were more that I didn't know about, but
No, I think just the one, and it was awful. I don't know what they were doing, what kind of creative.
I don't know
juices
why
or-
it was set in like a high school.
Yeah, they just did a bunch of weird stuff with it that didn't make any sense. It was like
Which is so weird because-
futuristic, but not really.
There was so much stuff that clearly they know at least something about Dragon Ball to be able to make that movie. Like, they know so many of the characters' names, and like they know about the Dragon Balls themselves, and like Shenron and stuff like that. Like, they know certain things, but somehow don't know enough to make the movie good.
Well, I also just I think it's
Like-
another one of those things where the actors didn't really know the characters they were playing very
Mhm.
well.
Which I don't know why you would. Most movies you still have to audition for, unless the casting director is just like, hey, you, Chris Pratt, play this role in our movie.
I also feel like,
Which,
they made it too serious.
Mhm.
Like Dragon Ball is serious at times.
mhm, but
All anime is
overall,
goofy.
it's Yeah.
Especially Goku as a character.
Goofy.
He's a
Goku is
goofball.
Goofball as fuck.
He's a goofy
Silly
goober.
goose motherfucker who gets
He's who I want
badass.
to. He's who I want to fucking be in life. Is fucking Goku.
He's a goofball that can get serious and badass when he needs to.
Mhm.
That's Goku's character, and I felt like the Goku in that movie was just straight serious all the time.
It was just a heavy ego testosterone fueled 17-year-old.
Yeah, which
Wasn't he? Didn't he go to a house party or some shit?
Yes.
And then he punched a Porsche
Something like that,
and
I think.
damaged the top of the Porsche or something stupid.
I don't even remember, man. I didn't even like the movie enough to remember very much about it.
Me neither. I know there was like some temple or something.
I remember they glued
up.
Piccolo's antenna to his head. Instead of having an antenna like this, he had antenna like this. They were glued to his head.
Oh god.
Something that Chance will like a lot. I told you about the Disney Plus Aragon.
Aragon.
series, right?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Did I tell you who the executive director and executive writer are?
The author, I already looked into it.
Yes, the author himself.
I know. I'm super fucking pumped. I'm hoping they do it justice. It's
That's
one of
the
my
way
favorite
to
stories
fucking
ever.
do it.
It is, yeah.
Have the
Have the author or the writer, whoever, the people involved with the original content, have them a huge portion of whatever you're adapting it into.
exactly.
Speaking of book adaptations into series, have you the Harry Potter one that they've said they're gonna try to stick as faithful to the books as possible? They've even said that they will have Peeves as a character.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, let me look it up real quick and double check.
There was a lot of content that got missed in the movies. They're good movies, don't get me wrong, but there was a shit ton that got left out.
One big one that I've seen people talk about is
the ghosts not playing a critical role was a big one.
Well, that and
the elves, house elves.
The house elves plot lines. Harry giving the Weasley brothers the money to start their shop from his Triwizard Tournament winnings.
Fucking cut out almost all of the Quidditch matches.
Right. So,
Quidditch was such a huge part in all the books.
Each house is supposed to play each other house at least once, right? But in the movies, it was just like, oh, Gryffindor versus Slytherin again. Hoo-hoo.
And
okay,
you know
cool.
what? That was one of the most disappointing parts about the video game too, Hogwarts Legacy. No Quidditch.
Really? None?
What?
No Quidditch at all. No Quidditch in the game whatsoever. In fact, they made a point to tell you at the beginning of the game that Quidditch has been canceled for the entire year. So there's absolutely no Quidditch in that game.
Well, they
Pardon me?
better update that game and add that in because
they said they're not putting any DLC. No
What?
DLC for Hogwarts Legacy.
No, I'm not even fucking downloading it now. I don't care. It's they don't have Quidditch and they're not adding to it. No.
I'm thinking
I'll stick
that
to Elden Ring. Thanks.
I'm thinking that they're planning to make another Quidditch game because they had one for the PlayStation 2 that was really fun. That was just Quidditch, the video game.
Really? That was all it was?
Yeah, it was actually made by fucking EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
Yeah.
EA Sport. It's in the game.
Okay, so I'm looking up information about the Harry Potter series, and this section right here, how to watch the series, is talking about it will be on Max, which is the rebrand of HBO Max.
Well, hold on. It's not even just a rebrand. They made a completely new app for it, which annoys me. I tried to start a show on my TV in there, which does not update as much as the phones do.
Yeah.
I can't just go to the App Store and update it. So I have to wait until the TV catches up with what the company's doing so I can download Max onto the TV so I can watch HBO Max on my fucking TV.
But here's the thing. The service launches May 23rd and has 3 price tiers. Max Ad Lite, which is $9.99 a month or $99.99 a year, which allows 2 concurrent streams. But of course, it contains ads. Max Ad Free, $15.99 a month or $149.99 a year, which will also allow 2 concurrent streams, but will be ad free. And then Max Ultimate Ad Free, which will be $19.99 a month or $199.99 a year, and allows access to 4 concurrent streams.
And no ads.
Baby.
And no ads.
That must be why I got ads the last time I watched something on there. I was trying to watch House of Dragons at work. Which, by the way...
I watched a few episodes of it, and they were pretty good, and then I stopped watching it because I went to my sister's.
The reason Game of Thrones was so good at the beginning was because George R.R. Martin was involved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the reason it sucked at the end was because he let somebody else take over for the season.
Well, because he hadn't finished the books yet, so...
Yeah, he hadn't finished the books, so he just...
It's kind of like One Piece, where the anime got further ahead than the manga.
Yeah, so they added in fucking fight scenes where Luffy's punching up at somebody and his fist is hitting the other fist for an entire half an episode.
Right.
And they're just screaming. Same reason that Dragon Ball had so many just screaming episodes where they sit there and screamed forever.
Just, that's not my power. Just kidding, that's not my power. Just kidding, I lied, that's not even my power.
People meme about it. It's not as bad as people complain about.
No, granted, I've only watched...
You gotta charge this thing for 4 episodes. It's not 4 episodes.
No, it's like a quarter of an episode, but...
Yeah.
The joke I've always heard, which is the most over-the-top version, is that a season starts and you get a Goofy episode, and then there's a fight that starts, and then the rest of the season is just Goku standing there screaming, and then the last episode season is the conclusion of the fight. That's the over-the-top version I've always heard that people joke about.
The Frieza saga's really good. The Cell saga
I did really like the Frieza saga.
Yeah, they're really
That's the only saga I've seen is the Frieza saga.
You gotta watch Cell. The
I
Cell
refuse.
saga is super. Oh, it's so good.
I can't bring myself to watch any more Dragon Ball willingly.
I tried to get him into One Piece too, and he's just like, it's not my thing.
It's just not. I don't vibe with it.
And then you told me,
don't get me wrong. It's a good show.
Do you like anime?
Good shows.
Sure?
They're good shows. They're just I don't vibe with them.
What do you mean, dude? One Piece is about fighting the powers that are corrupt.
Part of it was I didn't like the voice acting. The voices were kind of obnoxious to me.
For One Piece?
Yeah.
Some of the laughs get me on occasion.
And then I didn't like the animation style.
Oh, well, it's old as shit, so you probably didn't like the early old crap shit.
No. There are old animes that I do like. The animation style of.
The anime started in 1999, which was the year I was born.
I just didn't vibe with it. I don't know.
I was 3 by that point.
Not my vibe.
I think if I did ever make you a highlight reel that was coherent enough for you to actually understand what's going on in the story, I think you would enjoy it. Because the contents of the story vastly overrules. Well, the contents of the story vastly overrules any
complaints.
Yeah, any negatives people might have about the animation. Because the story is so
fucking
deep.
Vast. It's vast.
So vast. I mean, and you know it's vast because the guy finished the Wano arc after fucking 20 years of writing it, and then was like, now this is when the real story starts.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what the fuck?
I was just giving you the starter knowledge right here.
All right, you guys finished the prologue.
Chapter 1.
By the way, my favorite One Piece theory is that the narrator of the story, is old Usopp. After they find the One Piece and everything, after all that's done, it's old Usopp, the great storyteller in his old age, back at home on his island talking to his kids.
He's gonna be fucking ancient by the time they ever finish this shit.
I know. They're all gonna be 70 by the time the actual show is done.
There's just no way. Like they're gonna have to get new voice actors. No, by the time
they'll just age with the characters.
Well, no, I'm talking like because people die, right? So the voice actors aren't, and the voice actors probably won't want to do it forever, but they'll probably do AI synthesize because there's enough hours and examples that they could get it almost perfect to say whatever,
I hate that.
Whatever they want.
I hate that that's even a possibility, let alone something that will probably happen.
Well, you know what I think is cool? Modders they're doing it for Cyberpunk. They're taking the AI voice of characters in the game, and they're modding in completely separate hours-long quest lines with the main story characters involved because they could use AI generated voices to make it sound exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Where beforehand they had to add their own like shitty side character
Yeah.
who did a pitty little quest line with you.
Which was a big thing in Skyrim, right? People would add their own mod character things and do like little voice clips and stuff for them and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Was that not a thing?
It was. I think there's actually a mod for Skyrim already out that's using AI generated voice lines for main story characters. Which, by the way, go ahead.
You first.
I was gonna ask, were you was it Stormborn or Stormcloak, or who's the other one in Skyrim?
The two factions?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you an honest truth that I am ashamed of, okay? I have beaten the primary storyline in Skyrim like 8 times. I never once chose a side. I never committed fully.
I'll let you know.
I just didn't. I couldn't.
Baby. One of them is a whiny rich baby, and the other one is actually fighting a power system of oppression. So
yeah. I just I didn't like. I still don't like the idea of war. I think it's useless. So I refused every single playthrough to join.
Cargo, are you okay?
Yeah, I just don't know anything about what you guys are talking about. I have no
thought you were
input.
You ever played Skyrim?
No.
Oh.
I actually tried to get him into it once, and he wasn't. I just think it's. You told me once that it's a little harder for you to get into fantasy than it is like a sci-fi setting. Like it's just a little harder. For
Most
you to
times,
understand
yeah.
Everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna say originally, Elden Ring is like a grown-up Skyrim. By the way, I'm fucking loving the shit out of that game.
I started it. I just haven't. I haven't gotten very far in it.
Me neither. I beat the first boss first try though.
I think I just wasn't a fan of the combat system.
What did you start out as? What like character?
Fuck the one with the sword and shield.
There's a couple.
I don't remember what it's called though.
Samurai?
No, not a samurai.
Is it? It's not warrior. I don't think that's a dual scimitars. Vagabond? No.
May have been a vagabond.
Vagabond.
All I know is just the one that has like medieval looking armor
43.
with a sword
This
and
is
a shield.
gorgeous. It is dangerous
Oh
to
no.
go alone.
Oh no.
What, Cargo?
I pulled up a window and it started auto playing audio.
Oh, should I share around the podcast links to people?
Probably. I posted it in all of the Discord servers that I'm in, but
I don't really know where to share it though.
I sent it to my mom. I don't have any other friends.
I mean, you could always do the thing that people hate, and I hated doing it when I was younger, posting it on Facebook. Because one time I had my cousin join, and I didn't know his like Twitch name or something, and I said, "Hey, if you talk in chat, I'll suck your dick." And he was like, "Hey, I'm your cousin. That's probably not a good idea."
Probably not. Probably not a good idea in general to offer fellatio or
Right.
comments.
yeah, probably
What
not.
games have you played a lot of, Cargo?
Jet Set Radio.
Not even that.
Really?
After joining that one server that I'm a part of, I've learned that I
Mhm.
barely scratched the surface of that game.
Really?
Like, I know this much in a story that's like
It's like where I'm at with Elden Ring right now.
I don't I wouldn't consider any game that I've ever played as a game that I've played a lot of.
So
Like even
casual,
Siege, when I have
you're a
3,000 hours in the game. Still never made it past silver, so
anything like when you were younger? Like, did you play a lot of Pokemon or?
Nope.
I played a shit ton of N64 Ocarina of
I mean,
Time.
I played Jet Set Radio Future all the time, but like, I don't know. I'm just
We played a lot of Halo Reach at your house when I was a kid.
Got into it.
You never got into Halo, huh?
I got
No,
into
I played
Halo,
it a
but
few
not
times
nearly
throughout.
not nearly enough to consider Halo 4 an affront to the franchise like some people. I loved Halo 4.
I've
That would
never
get
gotten
so
into
many Halo fans calling me a fake Halo fan, so
I've never gotten that into the series, like thinking things are an affront to the series,
right.
or really even like knowing a whole lot about the storyline of a series. Like Chris could sit down and explain the lore of Legend of Zelda and what like the timeline of the games and shit. I there's no game like that for me where I can just be like, yeah, this is all the fucking timeline of a game. I played a lot of Super Mario 64, but that's the only Super Mario game I played. Besides, I think I played a little bit of Galaxy, the first one.
Also, never a huge Mario guy.
Same.
I get the nostalgia appeal of it. Because Super Mario 64 was like one of the first 3D really good video games, platformers on any console. It was one of the first, if not the first. So I get the nostalgic appeal of Mario and like older people being like, oh, we need to get the new Mario game. I like Mario. But I don't think as a character, Mario doesn't have a whole lot of personality to align yourself with. But if you really think about it, what main video game character does? Because the whole point is that you put yourself in that character, in that character's position. You are the character while you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about the more movie-esque approach people are taking to video games lately?
I don't like it personally.
As in, like, with cutscenes and stuff?
Well, like that, or if you look at a game like the Dark, what are those called? The horror games that have been coming out recently. I played one on stream for a while. The Dark,
like Man of Medan and stuff like that. Those games. Yeah. I don't remember what they're called.
So basically,
House of Ashes.
Basically what that company does is they actually take actors.
Until Dawn.
Like the one I played had Brenda Song in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember who Brenda Song is, Chance?
No.
Did you ever watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? London Tipton. That's Brenda Song.
The rich one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They take actors and model the actual actors into the game.
Huh.
All of the characters are modeled after the actors that play them.
Yeah. They're all horror games, and the point of the game is that you kind of like walk around in this character's body, follow the story, but the gameplay itself is mostly like finding things, learning things about the world, and quick time events. And that's pretty much the game.
And depending on, I think all of the games have like branching storylines where you can make choices here and there that will give you different endings, but other than that, it's walk around, find thing, quick time, make choice. Like I'm not a huge fan of playing games like that. If they've got a good storyline, I'll watch gameplay of it, but I wouldn't play it myself personally.
It's pretty much a movie that you have a little bit of say-so in what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would be too terribly interested in something like that.
I think a lot of games have been kind of going that direction lately.
It's like a choose-your-own-adventure Goosebumps book, but less fun.
Did you guys ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
Nope.
No,
I watched like four. Right, I watched Jacksepticeye play it like 5 different times on his channel, but never played it.
It's a cool game.
I like what he said about it and how the concept of it was weird for a lot of people. because every enemy was a boss and there were no other enemies. I think it is a really weird and cool concept. And I don't feel like there are a lot of video games coming out lately that are all that interesting to me. Like Tears of the Kingdom interested me. Seemed like a good game. They put in a new concept in it that was interesting.
I don't know what game that is.
The new Legend of Zelda game. The
Lord of the
sequel to-
Rings.
Oh, gotcha.
Lord of the Zelda.
My biggest problem, unfortunately, is Wii needs to put out a real gaming console so that their games can do real graphics, because that Zelda game does not look as good as it should.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't run as good as it should either.
I think they at one point were talking about putting out. I think they were calling it like their rated R console, where they would actually release Nintendo would release rated R, like not R. What's
Rated
what's
M.
M? Yeah, rated M games. They would release games with updated graphics, games that were more for adults than just like Kirby and Animal Crossing.
Because like Twilight Princess was the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the wrong console.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that game because I hate the Wii.
I think the Wii as a concept was really cool. As an executed system, not great.
Yeah, no, it was
I
great
still
for
liked...
like Wii Sports. That was fun. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I liked Mario Kart on the Wii.
I mean, I think
if you got the big steering wheel attachment for your controller, that made it fun.
Games like that are fine because it's like there's not a whole lot of
more like arcade style games.
Yeah, but when you're talking about like what they said,
Just Dance,
the movement for the controller in Twilight Princess, because when they revealed it at E3 conference, they revealed the console with Twilight Princess. And they were like, this is how the sword movement is going to work. And they showed a guy moving the Wii controller, and it looked like the character was moving the sword how the Wii controller was moving.
Yeah.
That's not how it worked at all. You just swung the Wii controller and linked it his own thing with the swords.
Yep. And where it finally lost me was how bad the archery was. Trying to aim and shoot, and like as a person who fucking loves archery, it was so painful. It was so painful.
I think that's a problem with most video games in general, is trying to incorporate real life stuff like archery or fishing or anything
Destiny
like
did
that.
A great job of, by the way. The bows in their game.
I've actually been thinking about downloading Destiny 2.
I have not.
I've put fucking hours into Destiny 2. If you ever want to play, let me know.
You know what else was a good product in theory but was not executed well was the Kinect.
Yeah.
Also agree, yeah.
Or
not very well executed.
PlayStation's version of it.
Too many bugs.
Well,
those
even
little controllers with the balls on the end, right?
Yeah.
I've never even touched those. I don't even know how that process worked.
Well,
the Kinect
VR.
The Kinect was just the infrared grid sensor, wasn't it? That just sensed your body's movement, and then the PlayStation was the one with the balls.
Yes, the Kinect was the sensor, and the PlayStation was the balls.
Okay.
And then PlayStation did a VR headset that was one of the earlier ones.
Mm-hmm.
That was just not very high quality and was not executed well. I tried to play Skyrim on it, and you have to move like this. This is how you move your character, right?
Oh, yeah, you have to like scooch forward.
Yes, and then turning, you could either press a button that flipped you 180 degrees, or you had to physically turn. Archery in that game was utter dog shit. Almost impossible to do. I couldn't even figure out how to use spells. I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to cast a spell? And then, of course, swords and shit were fine. But, like, I wanted to use... the first thing I got was a two-handed sword. And I wanted to use a one-handed sword, but I couldn't find one. So I had to, like, swing like this, which has always made me feel weird. even when I would play baseball in school, I used my bat one-handed. Just because
Really?
this inside of my body, it just feels weird to have my arms like this for a prolonged amount of time. It's essentially.
I just can't wait until we can have full body tracking, fucking stationary running pad where you can run and jump and it takes some weight off of you. That shit's coming up so fast. I know it is.
That's the trouble. It's been in development for years. Like those like omnidirectional treadmills or whatever, and like there's the one that's like the plastic concave dome with the special shoes that let you slip on it and stuff. Those things have been in development for years. Like even before the Oculus Rift was a thing, those have been being worked on and shown at panels and stuff.
Looking convincing.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing though, is that the ones they have right now are not for the everyday person to purchase.
No.
They're just way too expensive.
Like I mean, even like YouTubers and stuff would be like, I don't know if it's worth it.
Well, that's why none of them do it.
Yeah.
It's not there yet. It's not quite there yet.
Yeah, that's the thing.
AI getting better, the games are gonna be. Until we get quantum computer gaming.
Jesus.
What was?
How do you guys? Would you guys trust a full dive system?
No.
Depends. Am I single?
Are you single?
If I have nothing going for me, no one really to worry about, I might give it a try.
I think I would give it a try.
As long as there are proper fail safes in place.
There were proper fail safes for Sword Art Online, but that shit still went south.
It's just an evil person in charge of the game. I think that's what would worry the most is the company in charge of it.
Yeah. Like Neuralink.
Well,
I don't trust Neuralink at all.
Species.
I don't trust Neuralink as far as I can throw them. Like
it's just fucking Elon Musk is part of it.
Yeah. I don't trust it.
What the fuck is that dude? What
Nothing.
is Elon Musk getting?
I saw a fun post about him. It was like, this dude was like, when I heard Elon Musk talk about rockets and stuff, I don't know anything about rockets, so when people said he was a genius, I was like, he must be a genius. I don't know anything about cars, so when he talked about cars and people said he was a genius, he must be a genius. And then they're like, I know a ton about software engineering. And I can tell you when he talks about software engineering, he sounds like a moron. And so it's like,
I think as well is that
if you know what you're talking about.
Well, he also has a hard time getting his words out. I noticed it because I've watched a few, like, he's been on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple times. It seems like he's trying to formulate things in his head, and then when it's coming out of his mouth, it's not sounding like he's wanting it to sound. It seems like he has a real disconnect between what he's thinking and what's actually coming out. Because he's either trying to narrate
I don't know.
ways or something's going on where it's not. He comes off as stupid almost.
For a long time now, I've always thought he just came across as trying to sound just smart enough that the average person wouldn't catch that he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's how I always interpreted how he talks. I'm just like, to the average person, what he's saying sounds really smart. Like, even to me, like, it sounds smart. But then you get, yeah, Jesus. But then you get people that like know the topics, like the software engineer. You get people that know the topics and they're like, what he's saying is nonsense.
You know what's kind of wild to me about Elon Musk?
I don't know.
So his 18-year-old daughter recently, who's trans, changed her name. Yes, changed her name, and completely cut him off. Emancipated herself from him, wants nothing to do with it. How shitty of a father and a person do you have to be for your own child to say, no, I don't want that millions, billions in inheritance money. I'd rather be the fuck by myself and have
I
nothing
mean,
to do
you've
with
seen how openly hateful he is towards trans people, right?
Yeah. Just
Like,
how shitty do you, and how shitty do
you
you
know
have to
what's
be to her?
it's so funny, but also so sad, mostly sad. He started being much more openly homophobic, transphobic, racist, whatever, just generally speaking hateful when Grimes broke up with him.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of that started around the same time that Grimes left him.
He just went down the wrong rabbit hole, I think.
And he was just like, this is me proving to the world I'm a big strong man.
I
don't need
if you
Grimes.
happen to be watching Elon Musk, $50,000 in my bank account, and I'll do nothing but sing your praises.
Same.
Same.
Honestly,
actually,
same.
I'd sell out.
I will
Do a lot
resist.
for
I
money,
will
Elon.
I will rebuke everything I've said so far.
The offer's
Strike it
there.
from the record.
Strike it from the record. This episode will forever live in the ether. It will never see the light of day.
You know, give me 100,000. That's like a penny to you, right?
Not even.
Right?
And I'll never say anything about you except I
Give me
love you
100.
and you're a genius.
Give me 100K. You can give me a list of 10 things you want me to do, and I will do them, no questions asked. Okay.
100,000 to him is like a penny to $100,000. Like,
Yes. Exactly. That's why I'm saying, give me some fucking money. I'll suck your dick.
I don't know if that ratio actually works out. I'd have to redo the math, but
It's a fucking thing. Every single one of those
a hell of a
guys.
lot less than just a penny.
I sent you that Smog post, right? The Smaug one.
Yeah.
Or it was like there are 14 people in America who have more money than Smaug, a literal gold hoarding dragon who had an entire mountain full of gold.
Yeah.
Jesus, they could give me $1 million and they'd be fine.
Yep.
They do nothing to it.
They equally distributed their wealth among everyone. We would all be doing great.
Here's the thing. Cap off their net worth at $999,999,999.99.
Even that's too much.
Well, but here's the thing. Cap all of them off at that, and then all that other money gets distributed to those less fortunate.
It's like a video game currency. You can't get 1 million. Sorry, you can't get 1 billion. You have to go 9999999.
It's like it all goes. Every cent after that is either charity or set up in like funds to send out. I've seen people tie it in with Andrew Yang's universal basic income, where every cent equal to or greater than 1 billion is set into this pool for universal basic income, and then every citizen making like 100,000 or less a year gets monthly checks for X amount of dollars.
And then, but then you have the people who are like, well, but you have to encourage people to work or no products.
You know what's funny about that though? What's funny about that though?
People would do what they fucking love if they didn't have to work.
No, here's the thing. In places where UBI and stuff like that had been implemented as a trial run, it improved the workforces.
I believe it.
People took that extra money to pay for things that they like to pay for things so they could look for jobs, so they could get jobs, so they didn't need the UBI.
Well, this is the concept of bread and circuses.
Yep.
It's the oldest economic concept known to man. As long as people have enough money to eat greasy, nasty food and have some form of entertainment in their life, they'll forget about a lot of shit. They won't think about what you're doing. They'll just be happy they have what they have. As long as we have enough money to live comfortably.
Right?
And
But the
most
thing
of us
is-
don't even have that.
Most of us
Yep.
aren't living comfortably. I'm not even living paycheck to paycheck. I'm living paycheck to app loan to paycheck to app loan to paycheck. I have to withdraw. I have to get a little bit of money from an app that loans me a little bit of money every month just to scrape by.
I make almost $20 an hour, and I live fucking. I go farther into debt every paycheck.
Yep.
Like the fuck.
That's the crazy thing is like at okay, so my sister and her boyfriend, they have their daughter who is, I think, 8 months old now, something like that. She'll turn a year in September. 2 people and a child, 2 dogs, and they make a combined income roughly 100,000, I think, is what she told me. Yet they're barely scraping by.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because with
That's insane.
More people, more pets, more things, bigger space.
But
need,
even
that
so,
all costs more.
But even so, like when I lived with them, they weren't even scraping by. Like one extra person tore everything apart for them. And all they needed to do was just buy barely enough groceries so I could have lunch and make a little bit extra for dinner while I was there. That's it.
I mean, we're at a weird point. I think America is just this very weird state of being where you have to pay to be born an exorbitant amount of money. So much money, in fact, that your parents probably still have to pay for your birth now if they had to in the first place. Then
it's like
you have to
$10,000 to just give birth in a hospital, right?
Yeah. And then you have to pay to live. And then, which makes sense to me, you should have to, if you're making a little bit of money, you should have to buy food.
Right.
At least a little bit of food. Should have to have a house and shit like that. But then when you die, you have to pay to die. And then if you have debts that you've built up that don't go away after your death, your children are paying your debts that you couldn't afford to pay when you were alive because you didn't get paid enough to live.
Yep.
When I worked at Navient, I had old 70-year-old women who had accrued over $100,000 in debt because they couldn't afford to pay it. And I had to call and listen to them cry and tell me they had no idea how they were going to pay this debt and beg me to tell them it was not going to go to their children. That if they died, when they died, it wasn't going to go and cross over to their children.
They're going to get their money out of you. And if not you, someone related to you.
That's why I couldn't keep that job. I was like, this is too much for me.
Well, those are the fucking people that are working at Walmart and they're like 78.
Yeah,
They're
that's
literally a
celebrating their
door greeter
30th
making $11 an hour. Like
my grandma
Jesus.
worked there till she was 67. She worked there forever.
Yeah.
She
And
only
she probably
recently
wasn't making much more than people start now.
No.
I was making more when I started than a woman who had been there 15 years. I'm like, there's no way I'm making. How?
That's like my mom working at the school that she worked at. There were teachers getting hired on for a higher yearly salary than what she had gotten up to after like 20 years of working there.
They changed the teacher hire on rate to 40,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Which still isn't enough in my opinion.
No,
teachers.
not even close.
Absolutely enough.
Teachers are one that should be, in my opinion, a minimum of 6 figures.
They are literally
Like-
molding the future of the country. And
They should
are
have
so
the
why-
least worries.
And it's part of the reason why the education system sucks so much, because no one wants to go into it. No
Well,
one.
that, and then they do, but they want to go into it because, oh, you just teach for certain amount of days out of the year, and then you have the summer off,
Yeah.
or you have holidays off. But then they get to do the job, and they hate it because they can't teach their kids anything except how to take a goddamn test.
Yep.
No.
And then when they can't pass the goddamn test,
They
first
get
off,
in trouble.
it gets blamed on the teacher, and then it gets blamed on the school, and then the school gets less money because their kids couldn't pass the test. It's
Even
all a
though
fuck.
what we should be fucking doing is from an early age finding out what natural skills and interests each individual has, and just fostering that interest. Whatever they want to do, whatever they're good at, whatever they're interested in, fucking push that until they're 18, and then they can make a career out of that shit.
I don't know about that.
Really? You don't think we would be better off if we were all, instead of standardized testing,
Well,
sit
okay,
down, shut up, do
I'm
what you're
not
told?
saying that. I'm saying finding the special interest / skill at an early age and then fostering that specific skill set
No,
or interest.
I'm saying throughout their childhood, whatever they happen to be interested, and that's of course going
Okay,
to change.
so as they change what?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
Well,
okay,
and
that makes
here's-
sense then. Yeah,
foster
I
their
agree.
interests. Not
Yes,
necessarily
foster them as a
specific
person, not
interest.
as a skill set.
Here's from what
Got
I
it.
understand about how the Japanese school system works. It works pretty much like that, where they go to normal classes, normal school throughout middle school, right?
Mhm.
And then during middle school, they have a paper they fill out where they list their interests and jobs. And then they take that interest that the child has, and when they go to high school, they foster that specific interest that the child said that they like.
Yeah.
But they can switch at any point. If they're like, oh, this doesn't seem like it's for me, they can switch and start taking different classes.
Yeah, because there's no reason for you to fail because no one fostered your interest.
Of course, in America, you would have to make sure that they're also getting basic classes on how to live in this goddamn country, because I for sure didn't, and I hate it.
Right?
Well, even taking like finance class and home ec, and those are fucking.
They don't
they're
teach you
just
anything that you actually need to
bullshit.
know.
Yeah.
Mr. Reynolds,
Jesus.
Mr. Reynolds at least
Kind of tried
taught,
to a little bit.
taught us a little bit of valuable stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Like
his
balancing
own
checkbooks.
real world experience. He would relate to us his experiences, which was
Yes.
really good. And Mr. Reynolds was a great teacher.
Well, and like
Mhm.
teaching us how to professionally and like in an exceptional level get through a job interview.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good teaching right there. That's what we need to know.
Mhm.
How to get through a job interview, how to budget and balance checkbooks, how to make sure we're paying our taxes correctly. That's important information that every kid needs to know.
I don't
'Cause
remember.
every kid.
I don't remember the taxes thing.
We didn't. I'm just
Okay.
listing that as things kids.
Okay.
need to
Things
know.
that we
I thought you
should
were listing
have been
things
taught.
Reynolds
Yeah.
did. I was like, I don't
No,
remember
he was
that.
great, but he didn't go that far.
The
Well, but
checkbook thing, as good as it was to know that skill, even when we were learning it, it was outdated
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It was
by
extremely
like
outdated.
10 years at least.
Yeah. Well, all the fucking workbooks were like 10 years old. They were old workbooks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys took his finances and whatever class.
I took
I think it was 2000, not even 10. It was like mid 2000s is when the books were printed.
That's because Blue River is a rural school.
Mhm.
They don't get a whole lot of money.
Nope.
They can't afford the newest textbooks all the time. Because
God, I just wish Union would die so I can buy that building.
It won't
I
for
don't
some
know how
reason.
they're still going.
For some reason, it
From
won't.
what I understand, they've supposedly supposed to die for like the last 30 years.
Right.
They just keep clinging to life. But
Well,
I want
and
to turn that fucking building into a house.
I mean,
I
it
wanna
would be
live
a sick
there.
house.
That'd
I
be
think
dope
one
as
of the
shit.
the sickest prospects we found before getting this house, when we were first looking at houses to buy, was that old glass factory we found in Cargyle that had
That
the
would've been
fucking
cool.
26 car garage outside that
It
I
was
was
an
gonna
old
like set up my
warehouse, yeah.
forge in. And then the top floor was all apartments, and the bottom floor was all office space.
Office space
Dope as
with
shit.
warehouse on one side.
Yes, and there were like 4 apartments upstairs that had their own like bathrooms
sorry.
and kitchens and stuff.
How much
I just
for
burped.
that?
It
I think
wasn't
it was
a
like
lot of money 'cause
40,000.
yeah, it was within
40
our
or
budget
60.
at the time.
What all was wrong with it?
Water damage to the
A ton
foundation.
of water damage.
Foundational water
I mean,
damage.
Yeah, I believe that, but shit, I still think
Well, and it was already zoned for residential and not business because of the apartments upstairs. So you
Yeah.
didn't even have to talk to the city about that.
It
It'd
would
be
have just
fucking
been.
sick.
I
It would have
would've
just been a ton of work.
I would 100% have gone for that. I would have for sure.
I mean, it was a really cool idea. Because I mean, we talked about bringing.
So I'm assuming there was plenty of space that there would have been. You would have had room to grow and.
Oh yeah, there's space for 4 different families upstairs, or at least a family of 3, and an entire office space downstairs, plus the 26 car garage outside.
Was that listed on Zillow?
Yeah, actually, it was.
I have Zillow pulled up on my other monitor because I had it saved. I'm trying to find it.
And the other one was a church, an old church.
Was it in Muncie? You said.
Yes, it was. The other one was an old church in Cowing that had like a balcony and everything, and then
Church
like some
would be cool
apartments out
too,
there.
but
The other one, the
churches-
old glass factory, was a much cooler option because I was like, I'm gonna finally set up my fucking forge outside in that 26 car garage.
And with the
I'm gonna make-
office below, you could have set up an actual shop down there.
Yeah. Exactly.
That would have been the coolest thing ever.
What part of Muncie is that glass door?
Oh, I don't remember.
I'm
Somebody
trying to
bought
find it.
too.
You know how many square feet it was?
I'm gonna go ask Chris real quick if he remembers.
I know
That's
it
cool
was.
as shit.
I think it was northeast, maybe. I could be wrong though.
East? Was it north of McGalliard?
I think so. Like I said, I could be wrong.
Not much up there.
Like I said, I had it saved, but I'm going through now and I'm not finding it. Actually,
You
why
should
don't
be-
hold on?
You should be able
Sort
to find it even
by
if it's sold, right?
Price. I'm sorry. Why are you descending sort, ascending sort? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Status.
Because I think buying a big, almost industrial building would be cool as shit.
Showing all by price.
Is this an apartment building? You can buy an entire apartment building? Kind of cool.
Oh, okay. So switch it to that. Here we go.
Okay,
Do
it was
this
on
way.
Jackson.
It was on
On
Jackson.
Jackson, he said, "You know where the pawn shop and the speedway is? It's that direction on Jackson." Because we were even talking about getting we have a friend from our old church who's a contractor. We were talking about trying to get him to come and look at it with us and give us an estimate on how much it would take to fix the foundational damage. Because we really liked that building.
Jackson. Here's Jackson Street.
And it may have been sold.
Well, even if it was sold, you should still be able to see the listing. I'm not seeing it.
I'm going to go... I'm going to try and look it up online.
What was it? love how we got off on this weird ass tangent.
Hey, man. Okay, so I have it set to look for only up to 40,000, and it's showing me things that are like 350,000.
Well, probably by now it's probably gone up if it hasn't
True.
sold.
If somebody fixed the foundational damage, it's definitely gone up. Because that was the only reason it was within budget, because the foundational.
You said
What's
it
the
was on
building-
Jackson
What did
where,
the building
Nick?
look like? Was it a big white building?
Yeah, I think so.
Where did you say
This
it was on
is-
Jackson?
He said there's a pawn shop and there's a speedway, and it's down that way.
Yeah, I
Was
have
it
no
a-
idea what that means.
A big brick building with a connected white building?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I don't remember. Oh,
I'm
fuck!
looking at here. Hold on, I can bring this over, can't I?
Where was that Discord? Because we
If
sent
you're-
links to it in Discord. I'm gonna go find
Oh, did
it.
we?
Yes.
If you're looking at my stream, I've got it pulled up.
It's gonna be a long time ago.
I'm gonna change the stream up. There we go. Huh?
It
Scroll.
wasn't. It didn't have Brandon, did it?
It may have had Brandon. I don't think it was that one. It was longer.
Long. Okay.
Okay, I'm looking through. House. I'm looking for anything, any group.
That one was also on Jackson Street, by the way.
There's a bunch of deleted users here. God, it was a long time ago when we did this.
No, I'm gonna bet that's not it.
Hey, so
So,
podcast.
yeah.
We're doing a great job looking at stuff.
Well, hey,
So I
man.
was trying to keep talking, and
there's
I
a
mentioned
really-
our tangent.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It was just
There was a really cool house that we wanted to find again, but I can't
Right.
find the
um.
Discord chat. So if I find it, Chance, I'll send it to you because it was really fucking cool.
Cool beans. Sounds good.
Fuck. Now I'm lost. I'm lost in thought thinking about this house.
Zillow's not
Any
even
future plans
updating.
we want to discuss
For the podcast,
for the life in general, I guess.
Hello, Zillow.
well, podcast wise, I would like to do some cool, like
No.
in-person live shit at some point.
Wanna
Like-
go?
During Halloween, going to a haunted house or some shit.
Ooh, that could be fun.
I really want to do the artificial skydiving. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Where
Like
they put
with
you
the
in a
air?
tube, in the tube with the air, the fan
Yeah.
below you that you can float around, and it's like you're skydiving, but you're not actually skydiving. I
That'd
think
be-
that would be really fun and a good prep for actual skydiving.
Just doing some like, well, you guys know one of the most notorious demonic possession stories with like the kid walking on the walls and shit was in Newcastle.
Was it really?
Yeah, there's a really big Ghost Adventures did a fucking episode there.
For
Where they
real?
went- yeah, where they went and explored the house and tried to talk to things. If we could get into that house, it'd be fucking cool. Because I know it was old and dilapidated. But just going, because there are other famous like haunted spots around here. It'd be cool to do some like in-person live streams where we're at these haunted locations at night.
fun.
I don't know how comfortable you guys are with that, but I think it's a cool idea.
I mean, as long as I've got people there that I trust, I'm cool.
Oh, do you
As
trust
long
me?
as I don't die, I'll be all right. And as long as I die quick and painless, that'll be all right.
If one of us gets possessed by any sort of demonic entity,
We have to film it and monetize it.
exactly.
For sure.
If I die, film it and monetize it.
No,
okay?
that's a snuff film, and those are illegal.
No, I mean like film the lead up to it and what happens.
Cut
and
out the
put-
actual death.
Yeah, yeah.
but-
Put a little thing on screen that's like
Little footnote. He died.
I like that my argument was those are illegal.
We can't you could monetize it. The dark web exists, Cargyle.
Yeah,
Not that it's morally questionable, but that it's illegal.
yeah.
When it comes to making money, nothing's morally questionable. That's the billionaire mindset right there.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Ridiculous.
I'm gonna look it up now. Haunted spots in Indiana.
Oh, you know what else would be kind of cool?
What?
Back to our housing tangent. Buying like a storage unit place.
That would be cool.
Yeah, bidding on an abandoned storage unit. That would
No,
be
like
sick.
buying the whole facility.
Oh,
There's one in Muncie
What?
for sale for $250,000.
I mean, if we ever scraped around $250,000.
Just buy the facility. Oh, and the main office has already been turned into a house? No shot.
That's fucking sick.
For sure getting go-karts and riding them around in there. For sure.
There's a lot of haunted places in fucking Gary, Indiana. Most of them are in Indianapolis. I gotta find the one. Top 5 foot mine hot pay Indiana.
What? Were you possessed? Are you okay?
No, I'm looking up haunted places, man. I'm definitely possessed.
Who hurt you?
No, I can't really divulge that information. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
Aha.
I didn't mean to.
Thornhaven Manor, Newcastle, Indiana.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That was one that my ex was really, really into.
I want to see if we can go there.
Yeah, they have things that you schedule and stuff.
I mean, we could also go to like just like a touristy haunted house that's like actors and shit. Like
Yeah.
what's the one in fucking Anderson?
Anderson.
The Scream Park?
Oh, Indie Scream Park.
Indie Scream Park.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
in Anderson.
I forgot
I've
it was
been
in
there a couple
Anderson.
times. Emmeline's dad took us.
That was a fun
pretty
one.
It was weird.
It wasn't so much scary as it was. Some of them were just annoying to get through because they were so dark.
I was
think-
definitely afraid that I was gonna get too scared during that one, but it was. I could handle it, which is saying a
It was
lot.
portrayed to be much more scary than it actually is.
I
Yeah.
think the only scary part for me was the whole like, are you okay with people touching you? Are you okay with the actors touching you question? Because I was like, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna touch me? They're gonna like fucking goose me? They're gonna shove their fingers in my ass?
Goose me.
What are they
he
gonna do
says.
to me? Are they gonna fondle my balls? What's like, I'm scared now.
I mean, that would be preferred to what they actually did, honestly.
Which was, I think they grabbed somebody and drugged them to a fucking dentist chair and they just fucking.
Yeah,
Not even
they
dragged.
move
They
you
just
to another
led.
area.
They just gently led people.
Just like they grab like a little bit of your sleeve. They're like, "Come on, come this way."
Which
Yeah.
is honestly preferred to some of the most extreme haunted houses I've heard of.
Yeah, no, some of those people
Yeah.
actually like get legitimately injured at. They have to sign a waiver, so there's
Yeah,
no
well,
legal
they're-
fees.
There was one where literally the whole haunted house is they put you in a room with a chair and torture you.
Yeah. The fact people volunteer for that kind of thing is mind-blowing to me.
They literally like tase you, beat you, piss on you, shit in your vicinity,
No pissing on me,
waterboard
thanks.
you.
Yeah, no,
I bet I
I'm
could take
good
it.
without that.
I could stand a little waterboarding. That'd be okay.
You could stab me in the side a couple of times. That's fine.
No, I don't want to be penetrated.
I think there was some penetrating going on there.
You don't want to be penetrated, he says.
They had to be closed down because of allegations of sexual assault, which is not the least bit surprising to me.
No, absolutely not surprising.
If you put a bunch of creepy dudes who are morally questionable in a room, all together with one woman in a chair,
with anyone,
yeah, who's strapped in a chair,
let alone with a woman,
it does not surprise me at all, because they're already morally questionable because of the job they're doing,
right?
which is literally torturing people. Now, are all haunted house workers morally questionable? No.
Probably.
I would totally work in one.
They're just
Granted,
cool.
I don't know if that changes the morally questionable aspect of the conversation, but I would work in one.
So here's another question for you guys. When you get scared, is your first reaction to run or to punch?
Scream.
So yours is freeze.
Definitely freeze.
What about you, Chance?
I don't get very scared very often, mostly because I'm so hyperly aware of my surroundings and what's going on. So I would say I probably stay in a semi-permanent state of assessment and can activate fight or flight at any moment, depending on what is needed.
John Wick.
No, it's ADHD and trauma response, baby.
So yeah, John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly though, that is pretty accurate description of John Wick.
Which, by the way, Keanu Reeves, that's one of the guys we didn't talk about on our Ugly Hot Guys episode.
That's because he's not ugly. He's just hot. What are you talking about?
He's ugly hot. I'd say he's ugly hot.
I only find him strictly hot.
But he's also very wholesome.
Yeah.
And very, like,
that's
one
the
of
ugly part is the fact that he's wholesome.
I have never heard a Keanu Reeves story where somebody was talking about meeting him in public that was bad.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a single bad thing about Keanu Reeves, minus the conspiracy theorists thinking he's an immortal vampire.
He is an immortal vampire, and I'm fucking fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with that. So is Anne Hathaway and her husband, okay? Because they look exactly like Anne Hathaway and fucking
William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare, and his name is William.
Yep.
They are Anne Hathaway and William Shakespeare, and you can't change my goddamn mind.
Nope. No, there's for sure some immortals or something going on.
Probably.
We've been around too long for it not to be.
I agree.
We've been around too long for there not to be immortals.
At least Keanu Reeves is a wholesome one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, when you've lived that long and you've been through that much shit, you'd probably learn to be nice to people.
I think there's two roads you can take there. It's learn empathy or completely abandon empathy and just be a complete and utter asshole.
Keanu Reeves or the Queen of England.
Exactly.
Well, okay, but she doesn't count as an immortal anymore.
She died.
Okay, sure, she died. Sure, she's dead. No, I'm kidding. She probably is.
I mean, they definitely after she reigned for like what was it, 90 years or something stupid, 70 years. They wouldn't just change the person just willy-nilly. Like they'd just be like, yeah, they would. It's the same person.
She got a makeover. She got a new body or something, and
she is now her husband.
They'll just reinstate her as like one of her grandchildren or something.
Some non-racially motivated Get Out shit went on there, and they just put
Yeah.
her brain inside of her husband.
Yeah, something like that.
I think there are some non-immortals that should be immortals.
For sure.
John
Like
Goodman.
fucking Betty White should have been an immortal.
Yeah.
Prior to the Chris Rock smack, I would have said Will Smith.
Yes, but
But he lost that status.
I mean, honestly, an overreaction like that, I don't think necessarily removes all positive aspects of a person. Like,
No, for sure not. He's still got good qualities, but
like, I still think he's one of the coolest dudes out there right now.
see, I think that was just him being a broken man.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
broken man.
like,
There was
Taking
him being
control
a
where he
broken
could.
individual.
He had no control over his relationship, his life for the most part. He
Right.
took a little of what he could in that moment.
I
As bad of an idea as it was.
mhm.
I do respect Jim Carrey's stance on that though,
Yeah.
where
It's all a shit show.
he was like, Hollywood has been a shit show and has been slowly declining forever now. And I think that slap solidified the joke that Hollywood has become. The
Well,
shit
the-
show.
Well, the whole proceedings after that, dude, they just went on like nothing happened. He got his award. It gave a speech. No repercussions, ramifications, nothing.
I'm pretty
it was a
sure either
fucking show.
he lost it or he willingly
after the
gave
fact,
it up.
sure.
After the fact.
Afterward,
So
and
there
he
were
was
repercussions. They just weren't immediate.
He should have not gotten his award that night.
And I think
It's already in the script and everything. Like
My headset died. I can't hear you. 1 second.
I also think he was removed from the Actors Guild.
he was. That's the kind of thing though. They can't just make it up on the fly. Those things are so rehearsed and so like written out.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chris Rock didn't make up that joke on the spot. That joke was written. He rehearsed it. Like,
you know what else? Who else should be immortal?
Chris Rock?
No, I don't like Chris Rock that much.
I don't
He's
either,
a
to be
little
honest.
guy.
He's funny.
I mean, he's definitely
All of that
alright,
being
but
said,
like,
Will Smith is still a fantastic.
oh yeah, fantastic
He
He
actor
is a
and
fantastic actor.
generally speaking, fantastic person. Just lapse in
Definitely
judgment in
shouldn't be
a few
getting
instances.
tucked around by G.I. Jane, though.
Yeah,
I think there are some. I still, I don't know if you guys have this thing. I still feel sad that Robin Williams isn't around.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know the guy, but I still
Yeah.
am like, what a good person. What a good
I mean,
soul.
honestly, anyone that was a big part of my development as a person, like even Chester Bennington of Linkin Park. Like I still, every time I hear a Linkin Park song, I get real sad thinking about him. So it's
Well,
just
and-
like stuff like that is, ugh.
What chance?
Have you guys seen the movie? It's Adam Sandler and Seth Rogen, Funny People.
No.
I don't think so.
They added it to Netflix recently, and I rewatched it. It came out a few years prior to Robin Williams dying.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rogen says a joke. He's because Adam Sandler. Spoiler alert, by the way. Adam Sandler is like diagnosed with a disease. He thinks he's gonna die. He goes up to do a comedy set. He does really bad. Seth Rogen goes up after him and he makes a joke. He's like, "Wow, what's up with that guy? Seems like he's probably we're gonna find him with a gun in the back." And he's like, "Oh no, Robin Williams slit his wrists in the bathroom." And I was like, "Oh!"
Oof.
When I heard that joke, I was like, "Oh!"
Yeah.
You didn't
That's the
know,
kind of thing,
and it hadn't
right.
happened yet, but oh!
That's the kind of thing that you can't predict stuff's gonna happen. Like,
It hurt so bad when I heard it. I was like, oh!
right.
I
And like
think-
people are mad about that joke, and it's like they
Oh, for
had no
sure.
way of knowing, you know.
Yeah.
It's just well, and I think Robin Williams was on a status of comedian
Oh my god, yeah.
that was completely, for most people when he first started out especially, was just unknown.
Mhm.
Like he was the funny guy. Even to funny guys, he was the funny guy.
Yeah.
And he was so nice to everybody. And I think Jim Carrey is pretty close. Jim Carrey is a very good guy. He's a very
Definitely up
funny
there.
guy.
One
And
of
Yeah.
my favorites.
his brand of comedy is so special in its own way.
To me, he's second only
so
to
unique.
Robin Williams. Like,
Well, and and the thing I think it's interesting with Jim Carrey's comedy is that when people try to emulate Jim Carrey's comedy, they either can't or you can only see it as an emulation of Jim Carrey's comedy.
mhm,
Because it's so I mean his facial muscles.
right.
Have you seen him do the Grinch voice?
Yeah.
His Grinch
He
smile that he
fucking
does.
becomes the Grinch. He
Yes.
literally embodies whatever character he's playing.
Yeah.
Well, and what was the movie we watched, Carl? Andy
Kaufman.
Kaufman. Have you ever watched the movie where he plays Andy Kaufman?
What is it? The Man in the Moon or something like that?
I watched the documentary on the filming of that
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Where they talked about how like he was basically the person. He was hanging out with
He
the parents
was Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, the
And-
parents
and
even
people
said,
were like-
our son is back.
yeah,
and stuff like
people
that,
Were like,
and it's like,
he's starting
ugh.
to look like him exactly like people who knew the person.
He went
like-
so deep into method acting. Jared Leto could never. Like, he went so deep into method acting that he legitimately became like possessed by the dude's spirit and started,
Dude,
like Nick
he
said,
was
started to
Kill Me
look like him and
Carnal.
everything. What?
hearing about how Jared
Jared Leto
Leto,
could never.
That's my one for the month. I'm not allowed any more funny jokes.
That was
He-
beautiful.
hearing about how Jared Leto handled the very small role of the Joker that he played in that movie
It's
was
sad.
insane to me.
It's honestly sad.
I was so surprised by how little he was in that movie.
Yeah,
There were a
Well,
lot
and-
of cut scenes.
probably because it was. I just don't even think that movie was written well.
Well, and the thing is, a lot of the
It felt like
cut
it was
scenes
rushed.
made other scenes make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the second one was fine. I think the second one was a decent movie. It was okay, but the first one was just shit.
Was that Zack Snyder who did that?
What, the first one or the second one?
The first
I have
one.
no idea.
Who
Fuck, my
directed?
headset died again. What'd you
who
say?
Directed
No idea. We're looking it up.
Okay.
Suicide Squad. James Gunn.
James Gunn. Some of his choices with things are odd, and I've noticed it in a few of his movies I've seen.
Scooby Doo.
Just some of the choices that I don't know. There's some weird aspect where there's a disconnect in it.
He's definitely a hit or miss director for sure.
He does good. He does great with other things like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh
Good
my
movie.
god, this cord sucks. It's acting like I'm plugging in and unplugging it and plugging it in. It's doing bing, boom, bing, boom, bing,
Oh,
boom.
it's doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, where it's registering my headset being plugged in over and over and over and over again.
Gotta love
Oh.
that.
I didn't know Thor: Love and Thunder was directed by Taika Waititi.
hmm
I love that guy. He's cool.
Ragnarok
He's
and
good
Love and Thunder both were.
Have
Did
you
you guys watch Love and Thunder?
I have
Yes.
not.
It's super good. I really liked it. A lot of people didn't.
The only
I've
thing
heard a lot of people didn't, but I've also heard a lot of people did.
the only thing I didn't like was the goat screaming joke. It felt very old and tired.
Very
Did you-
outdated.
Did you see the thing? I don't know if it was a theory about it or if it was confirmed, but the whole idea is that you know how the rock guy, the dumb rock guy, is
Korg.
talking in the beginning.
Yeah.
The idea is that the entire movie is his telling of the events. So all these weird things like his hammer being a jealous lover and all the weird aspects, the screaming goats and all of that, it's because he's telling the story. He's putting embellishments into the story.
I mean, that would make sense.
It's his rendition of what happened.
That would make sense if there was some sort of, like, at least semi-concrete payoff besides the intro dialogue.
Yeah. I agree. I
mean, that's just one of those things. Not a whole lot you can do about it.
But I think there's a lot of movies like that where the concept of it is really good, and then it gets to the end, and the concept really has no payoff.
Yep. There are a ton like that.
Speaking of Taika Waititi, have you guys seen The Gentleman Pirate?
Nope.
Oh man, that is a good show.
You'll find that I haven't seen a lot of movies.
It's not a movie, it's a show. It's like a
Well,
series.
you'll also find that I haven't seen a lot of shows.
I'll have to show it to you sometime because it stars...
I haven't seen a lot of media. How about that?
It stars... I have to find the show and not... Because it's Steve Bonnet, who was an actual pirate. Known as the Gentleman Pirate. He was like... Sorry. He was a rich British guy who decided he wanted to be a pirate one day. And didn't really know how to be a pirate. So he was just like a really rich pirate who nobody really respected all that much, but because he was kind of a goofball.
Nice.
It's Our Flag Means Death. That's what it's called. And
to go back, Korg, voiced by Taika Waititi, opens with Korg telling the story of Thor to a group of children. He pops in and out throughout to narrate the story, and then it ends at the end with him finishing the story with the children, leading to be an indication that some of the events in the film didn't actually happen as it is from Korg's point of view.
Oh yeah, then that's not even a theory, that's just how the movie is.
Yeah, it was just something I had seen one time and I wasn't sure, so I just wanted to look into it and be sure.
Okay, yeah.
With that's that fair. In mind, a fantastic fucking movie.
I'm trying to find... So, the main character in Our Flag Means Death is played by Rhys Darby. I don't know if you guys know who Rhys Darby is. He's been in quite a few things. Jumanji, it looks like. Both of the newer Jumanjis. Guns Akimbo. He's been in Bob's Burgers. But basically, it's about Rhys Darby as the Gentleman Pirate and his whole story and how he left his wife and kids to go be a pirate. And then Blackbeard comes in, and Blackbeard is played by Taika Waititi. And basically, after Blackbeard comes in, it turns into a gay pirate story.
I see that.
And it's the fucking best gay pirate story I've ever seen in my entire life.
I just looked up Rhys Darby and then clicked on movies and TV shows and then clicked on images. And I'm just seeing a lot of... I'm not just seeing, but I am seeing a lot of Our Flag Means Death stuff.
Yeah, it's a great story.
It looks pretty good, from what I can tell.
Leslie Jones is in it. I forgot about that. She plays another famous female pirate. Nick Kroll is in it.
Dude, Nick Kroll.
He's an interesting one.
He's an interesting dude. Big Mouth is so good, though.
I could not get into Big Mouth.
I fucking love Big Mouth. Is it because it's awkward?
No. I don't remember my reasoning for it. I think it was mostly just me being like, okay, I don't really find this super funny. I did find some of the jokes funny. Like anytime fucking what's her name opened her mouth, the girl.
Jessie?
The one that talked like that.
Oh. My name's Lola.
Yeah, my name's Lola. Anytime she fucking spoke, I found it hilarious.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Once again.
Because you never seen Big Mouth?
Never seen it.
Okay, girl. What is
I'm
your
as white as a dump truck.
What do you find funny? Tell us.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I
What's your
find
favorite-
things funny. Just
What's your favorite comedy movie, though?
favorite comedy movie?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I haven't watched a comedy movie in years.
Oh God.
Okay, that's not true. I have. I don't know. I don't pay attention to
I
that
don't
kind of
really
stuff
have
that much.
favorite movies and stuff like that.
Same.
Here's another question.
I mean, I have a few, but most of them are like childhood movies.
Is it just me, or is Gabriel Iglesias, cemented in your mind as the comedian you watch on Netflix when you're having a sleepover with your friends when you're like 13 or 14?
I never had sleepovers, so I wouldn't know.
You're right. Because that, in my mind, that's what I did when I was a kid. And I was 14, had a birthday party. People stayed over. We watched like Gabriel Iglesias, and I think one time we watched Jeff Dunham, and we were like, "This guy's not funny. What the fuck?
I love Jeff Dunham.
What are these fucking boomer puppets doing? I'm so confused."
They are very boomer humor puppets.
Well, he is one of those comedians who has gone down the rabbit hole of boomer humor.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of,
His
and I don't.
stuff was pretty good though.
I just think a lot of the boomer humor shit is not funny at all. Because it's all based. It's like, so somebody explained it a way to me that actually made sense. And it's like a lot of humor is like taking something that possibly makes you angry or upset and making it into a funny joke without fully being just like rage on stage about it. And boomer humor is just saying that thing that makes you angry, and that's the joke. Like, oh, Zoomers don't know how to fucking write a check or write in cursive.
Haha, isn't that
The
funny?
audience laughs, and it's like, what?
We don't. We stopped showing them how to do all that stuff. Oh, those fucking idiots.
Well, and it's, I saw one lady who was talking about it, and she was like, the comedian was like, they don't know how to write a check or read a paper map or write in cursive or drive a stick shift. I'm pretty sure if Zoomers took over the world, it'd be pretty easy to get it back. Yeah, if you fucking have to do a cursive competition, maybe.
Yeah.
What real application do any of those things have to modern day?
Nothing. All you need is your signature. That's all you need to know in cursive. Your signature.
And on the other hand, it's like, says the lady who still doesn't know how to use fucking Apple Pay. Still has to ask her son to come and fix her TV. Like,
Jimmy, the cable went out. Mom, we don't use cable. It's the Wi-Fi streaming Netflix. Do you know? Okay.
it's like if we were living in the 70s and 80s, yeah, maybe we would have a hard time, running things in this country. But those things don't matter anymore. Who the fuck uses checks?
My boss, but he doesn't even use a normal checkbook. He has a thing on his computer. He types up the check and prints it out, and you just take a picture of it.
Well, yeah, the only thing checks are really good for now is giving to somebody so they can take a picture on their banking app, and then the money just gets put into their account immediately. That's the only good thing about it. I ain't driving to the fucking bank to talk to somebody
No.
and be like, hey, I'd like to have this deposit in my account.
Drive up ATM. All you need.
Yeah.
Put money in, take money out. That's it.
Right?
If the entire system was run by robots, I would have no fucking problem.
Yeah. A bunch of stuff could just be run by robots, and that would be fine.
And then I could go do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah. Like, I guarantee a McDonald's run by robots would not get my order wrong as much as McDonald's gets. I mean, McDonald's is a bad example because they don't fucking eat
I
there.
mean,
But fast food
but
places
still.
get my order wrong so much. Like,
the sentiment is there, and it is perfect.
here's what I'm gonna go on to what's eating me, and it's this. Fucking Wendy's, dude. I go to Wendy's 3 or 4 times a week, right? Because I work and I just want to get a quick lunch. I get half an hour, whatever. And there's this girl that's always there, and I'm nice to everyone. So I talk to her and I have banter with her while I'm waiting for the line to move. And I went there last week, and my order is wrong like once every 7 times, probably, normally, right? And I paid, and she handed me my card back, and I was like, hey, can I get that receipt, please? And she's like, what, you afraid they're going to get your order wrong? And I'm like, it happens more often than you would think, right? And I pull up, I get my fucking food, I pull into a parking spot to check my food, specifically because they get it wrong so often. They got it wrong. I asked for no pickle, no honey mustard. Both are still on there. They know my order because I say, hey, can I get this? And they go, no pickle, no honey mustard, right? And I go, yeah. Medium Dr. Pepper, no ice, right? Yeah, you know me. I'm here often, right? Order's fucking wrong. So I pull back into the drive-thru because I don't want to go in and actually deal with people. So I go back through the drive-thru, takes the rest of my break. My break's over now. I still haven't taken a bite of the sandwich. I go, hey, I'm back. They got my order wrong. And she's like, that's crazy. We were just talking about that. Go ahead and pull on up. We'll make it fresh for you. I was like, awesome, cool. I pull up, get my food, pull into a spot to check it again. It's not even the right fucking sandwich this time. It's the wrong sandwich entirely. And I pull back through, and I'm like, hey, they got my order wrong again. I'm 20 minutes past my time I was supposed to be back for my lunch. Can we fucking get it figured out? And when I said this, I heard a guy through the radio go, no fucking way. There's no way we got it wrong 3 times. Like, what is happening here? And so I pull up, get my food, and they're like, can you just check it at the window? And if it's wrong, we'll just kill ourselves. They didn't say that, but they're like, just check it here so you don't have to pull through again. Because I'm sure I was fucking their numbers up that day. But there's no reason it should be that hard. I tell you what I want. This sandwich, not this, not this. That's it. I give you my money. You should give me that sandwich. How is it that hard? They get it wrong so often, and there's no reason.
There really is no reason, to be honest.
I am convinced that because they are asking you and saying, hey, you don't want this again, right? Because you never get these things on it. And then you get it anyway. Someone in that kitchen fucking hates you for some reason. They're maliciously putting it on there and being like, oh, you don't want it?
The problem is, every time I go through there, I get hit on by the women that work there. Young, old, all of them. They all hit on me.
So this time they were just keeping you around longer so they could just see you more.
Yeah, and I'm like, I would like to fucking take more than a bite out of this sandwich when I pull into my parking spot and go back into work. Like, please, for the love of God, do your fucking job. Robot run by McDonald's run by robots would function probably 99% efficiently.
You know what makes me happy and sad at the same time? Back when I was single, and even when me and Hannah first started dating, the only people who would ever hit on me were gay guys.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
And it's like, when I was single, it's like, I'm glad you're hitting on me. That makes me feel really confident in myself. But then I'm not, attracted to you in that way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I had that just the other day. A guy friend of mine was like, basically saying something along the lines of like, we should hook up or something. And I was like, sorry, not into dudes. He's like, why not? And I'm like, because I'm not into dudes. I'm sorry. You're not the first guy friend who has wanted to hook up with me that I've turned down. Sorry. I'm not into dudes. Life would almost be easier if I was.
Another sad thing to me that I saw was a girl on Twitter talking about how happy she was because a dude hit on her and asked her for her number. And she said, sorry, I'm lesbian. I only date women. And his response was, oh, cool, man. I bet you get hella bitches, too. And then he walked away. And she was like, it just made me so happy because he didn't try to convince me that I wasn't gay.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, well, that's sad that is what makes you happy. that a
Right?
dude who hit on you didn't try to convince you that you weren't gay. Bro.
No, I'd be like, give me some trade secrets. How do I get these women to talk to me? Because apparently I'm intimidating.
I think this is kind of goes with that, but it's also a little bit off topic. Male anger,
Mm-hmm.
even when it's healthy,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard.
Yeah.
And it affects men too. Because when you don't have a healthy system set up in your relationship for the dude to express his anger in a healthy way, because most men are afraid of their own anger
Yeah.
because they're afraid of making people afraid.
My
Relatable.
whole life, I got beat up. I never threw a punch back because I was afraid of hurting someone. So I just let myself get beat up.
And so most of these men grow up being afraid of their own anger because they don't want their partner to be afraid of them. And so instead of expressing that anger in a healthy way, because even sometimes the healthy way they can be scared of, they just push it down, and then eventually it comes out in little sarcastic comments and slight jabs that aren't fully angry but are also like not really cool, man. um I know the one guy, there's a therapist I was talking about who was talking about how a relationship he helped, um the only way the guy could express his anger because of abuse the lady had experienced in the past was laying on his face on the bed with his arms out to the side and his palms open. That's the only way she could feel comfortable with him expressing his anger. So it's just something that's just really sad to me, is
Yeah.
how scared I am of my own anger, and I feel that.
Oh, I do too. My last relationship, the one time I showed true frustration, true anger at a situation, they shrunk away from me in a ball on the floor crying. And I was like, okay, can't do that again.
The relationship, I don't think, the only time I've ever yelled at Hannah, I felt really, really bad for it. Hannah's, but for anybody watching who doesn't know, is my fiance. Um, and it was over the dumbest thing. Carl, you remember when we were playing Minecraft and she was stuck in that hole?
Was that it? Really?
Yes.
Oh my
Because
god.
when I got off and she got off, I yelled, because she was walking away, I yelled, "It's okay to ask for help." And then just left the house. Um, and I felt really bad for yelling. But in my relationship before this, um, I was mad all the time because she was constantly berating me
Yeah.
and belittling and making me feel like shit. And there was one time she was in the car with me and she was talking about my money spending habits. And it was because I bought something that I wanted and I had money. Um, and, it was always, how are we supposed to live together and get a house together if you're always spending your money? And I'm just like, well, we've never even talked about that. We've
Like,
only
motherfucker,
been...
it's my money, A. I spend 90% of it on things I don't want to put it into. The one time I get a little bit of money to spend on myself, I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
Yep. And I got so mad, I open palm hit the steering wheel while I was driving. And she did that thing where she shrunk away from me and cried and got scared and was saying, "Don't hit me, don't hit me."
Yeah, that's a rough one.
And she was, even when we first started talking, she was we went on our first date, and after that she had a conversation with me about, "I don't know if I feel comfortable dating you because you're such a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I only ever date smaller guys that are smaller than me because if they hit me, at least it'll hurt less. But if you hit me, you're gonna fucking kill me." And it's just this process of trying to convince somebody that you're not an evil piece of shit that's going to beat on their partner.
Right.
And then once you do release that anger that you've been having pent up, and it comes out in for example, an open palm hit to the steering wheel, that trust that you built for so long
It's gone.
disappears.
You know,
And it's hard to get it back because you expressed your anger in a physical way.
which is understandable to a degree, but also you're not. And I've had this in a few relationships where I was constantly compared to previous people they had been with, right? I'm not that person. I understand that you have these responses and this way of being from them, but I am not them. So if I do something unknowingly that triggers a response that was necessary in this previous reaction, I understand that, but at some point you gotta stop. You gotta stop acting like I'm that person.
I think it's also, men are dudes, guys, homies are raised in a certain way that is not healthy
No.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the guys who try to overcome that, right, um, have their work, their work to overcome that situation that they were raised in, ruined by the guys who fell prey to that. And I know it's hard to be in a relationship with somebody who has been fucked over by so many guys that they just almost objectively hate men now. They just don't like them. And then you hear from them about their dislike of men, which is completely understandable at this point in their life. And it still makes you feel like,
You're
am I included in that?
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit too.
Yep.
And people always say, well, if you're not like that, then they're not talking about you. And it's like, okay,
That's
that
what
doesn't,
it feels like.
yeah, that doesn't stop me from feeling like they're not talking about me. Shitty men fuck it up for everybody, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I've spent my entire life apologizing on behalf of my entire gender.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we fucking suck. I don't know what to tell you.
I have done that for white people too. Just being like, on the behalf of white people, I am sorry that we suck so much.
God,
I'm sorry that the poor white people who are in very similar situations to you, minus the racism, keep voting against their own interests, so you get fucked as well.
shit, most of my female relationships were me consoling a girl that I liked because a guy that she liked was a dickhead, and I'm like, yep. Sorry, I could have told you from the get that he was a piece of shit, but you don't want to listen to what I have to say because I'm nice.
I also think it's a thing where um decent dudes can spot shitty dudes from a mile away. And you can be like, that is a shitty guy.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well for you. He's a bad person. And most of the time, I have said that to somebody. It has simply come from a friendship point.
Yeah.
But then we also have shitty guys who are saying those things to try and get with that person.
Yeah.
And so they can't trust us.
Yep.
Understandably.
Yep.
Because
Very.
a lot of other guys have tried to get into their pants by saying that's a shitty dude.
A lot of guys
And
have ulterior motives.
Yeah, so when I'm saying that's a shitty guy, it's not going to end well for you, they don't believe it. Understandably. And everything is an understandable perspective because from their perspective, they've been fucked over a lot. The world is fucked. I just wish we could all love each other. I'd like to make out with everybody.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm a big believer that your own, whether you want to call it vibration, frequency, state of being, whatever, the way you feel about life has a big impact on what you experience in your life. So if you're angry and sad and frustrated and call it low vibe, that is what you will see and what you will bring into your life. It'll be all you can focus on. But if you try and focus on light and love and happiness and high vibe, that'll be what is the primary focus of your life. So
And I think
despite
it's. I
being
agree.
through shit, I always try, at the very least, to find some way to be.
Well, and then we also have to remember that it's okay to be in a bad point sometimes. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be unhappy with your situation, as long as you can find something
Mm-hmm.
within that situation to enjoy or be happy about, which can be very hard, especially when you're depressed, to find anything enjoyable. I know from personal experience, when you're depressed, it's hard to find anything enjoyable. Even the people around you that you have always loved being around, you just end up not wanting to put in the effort to be with them because you're so sad.
Well, even
But go ahead.
not even just like relationships and interactions that way, just things you enjoy, like gaming for me. Fucking love video games. I love gaming. I've been gaming since my earliest fucking memory. Literally, is me getting out of a baby carrier and walking up to this old fucking Pac-Man arcade game that was for whatever reason in a doctor's office that I was in. That is my first memory. I've struggled so much the last like 6 months playing any video game. I can't. I turn on my computer. I see the video. I even will load up the video game and then I'll sit in my chair and stare at it for like half an hour before I turn it off. I can't even bring myself to do the thing I enjoy most.
That reminds me of something I saw that I also wanted to get your guys' input on. There's a therapist on TikTok who spent like months defending gamers in relationships with people because it was like an older video of a streamer whose job was to stream FIFA, and his girlfriend got mad that he wasn't giving enough attention and deleted all of his PlayStation files.
Yeah.
So all of the money and time he spent on the game that makes him money was gone. And he was mad about it and like smashed his computer and was yelling at her and people in his comments, because he made a comment like, that's ridiculous for her to delete his stuff.
It is.
That's a complete invasion of his private space.
Yeah.
And people in the comments were like, well, maybe if he paid enough attention to her, if there was enough balance in the relationship,
she can find some balance and play some fucking video games. Sit there and watch the video game.
Well, that was basically his point, was it's a hobby. There shouldn't be a limit on how much time you can spend on your hobby. The other person can also go find a hobby that isn't sitting on their phone. Yep. And I've felt that before too. Before Hannah started playing video games with me, there were times when I would feel bad because I'm playing video games and she's like sitting there being bored on her phone or watching TV. But then when I would go and spend time with her, sometimes she would still be on her phone. Yep. And I'd be like, okay, I thought we were going to spend time.
Like that. All I wanted to do was watch something together or play games together, and that wasn't enough. It needed to be face-to-face conversations about things that I knew nothing about, or all this. And you got to find a balance where you can both do the things that you can both enjoy together. And especially with the gaming and relationships, like, we spend 90% of our waking hours doing shit we fucking hate for people we don't like, to give that money to people we don't even fucking know. We want to come home and play a couple hours of video games because we can be who we want to be. We can do what we want to do. And that's something that most people need some kind of escape where you can be who you want to be. And video games are a huge thing for people.
Well, I think that's the whole point of most hobbies, is to escape.
Yeah.
Like, even if your hobby is like wood, You like building things with wood.
Wood carvers or the people that build awesome furniture on TikTok. That started out as a hobby.
It's all as an escape because they're doing what they enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're not thinking about, oh, I gotta go to work, I gotta pay taxes, I gotta do all this bullshit. No, they're focused on what they're doing, they're enjoying what they're doing, and it's a way for their mind to reset, their emotions to recalibrate. It gives them basically just a mental reset.
I don't want to stigmatize all women or generalize with this statement.
No.
But I do feel like there is a lack of hobby having, I'll call it, for a lot of women.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them.
The relationship is the hobby.
Yeah, they play video games. Women do that. They, they have a show that they like. They knit. They fucking whatever. They build with wood. They do the same things guys do. But I feel like in a lot of relationships, for some reason, the woman doesn't seem to have any hobbies. And it just causes strain on the relationship because she's bored and wants to spend time with you. And while you do want to spend time with her, you also want to have time for your hobby.
Yeah.
Because
things I want to do. Everyone has things they want to do.
And it's just like, ladies, if you feel like your guy doesn't spend enough time with you, A, if it's really bad, go to therapy. B, if he's just playing a video game for 4 or 5 hours, get a hobby. Find something you enjoy doing as well. Hell, go watch him play the video game. Maybe you'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
Or pick up another game. Or knit, crochet, watch a show, do something. Enjoy your time. Don't just sit and spend your time being upset that he's not spending his time with you. At least enjoy your time.
Well, so I went on that trip recently to see my friends Danny and Ty, right? And I envy their relationship so fucking much. They both have jobs, they go to work, they do their thing, they come home, they sit down in the same room, they don't necessarily do the same stuff. A lot of times they're watching a show together or they're playing the same game together. But oftentimes they're just doing their own thing. They're just in the same room as each other, spending quality time with tidbits back and forth about whatever they're doing. She's playing Zelda, he's playing fucking Warframe or something, right? And that is such an optimal balance. I fucking envy them so much. It's crazy. They're like the perfect couple. It's insane.
Well, me and Hannah do that too. I'll be sitting here like playing Warzone or some shit, playing Siege. She'll be back there watching her show, and then she'll be like, "Hey Nick, can I tell you what the fuck just happened in my show? Because this is complete and utter bullshit." I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm in the lobby. Hold on a second," and I'll listen to what she has to say about the show, and be like, "Cool, I'm gonna
do my thing." Yeah, and while you're not necessarily having strictly one-on-one, face-to-face interactions, it is still, I would consider it quality time together.
Well, yeah, and there's another weird Japan thing. Their preferred time spent together is that kind of time. I mean, fishing together, where you're not really even talking to each other. You're just sitting there, being in each other's presence. That is my favorite kind of time spent together.
Oh yeah, that's my love language, is spending time with people.
I'm not good at talking. Sometimes I would prefer not to talk. Sometimes I would just like to sit there with you, be in your presence, and enjoy a show or just sit on the porch and listen to things. That's a good quality time. What do you think, Cargill? You've been sitting there silent for a while.
Yeah, I've been watching you.
You've been sitting there kind of bored.
Because I can't relate. One to exist.
But when you're looking for qualities in people, what kind of things are you looking for?
They're alive, and they like me.
So heartbeat.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're down bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
On a real life note, we will have to wrap this up here soon. I have to go to work super early tomorrow. So.
Okay.
Well, we've been going for
it
2
is.
hours and 30
I'll
minutes.
say it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're at 2.5 hours.
It's 10:55.
Pretty good amount. We're pretty
Yeah.
late.
I don't know, man.
It's supposed to be 9:30 anyway, so.
Just
people that you can count on are 100% the best. I agree.
I guess pretty much. Oh, hey, hi. Joined right at the very end.
Yeah.
But hey,
We're talking about
hopping in
relationships.
at all is hell yeah. Love that.
To recap that last conversation we have, just real quick for you, Beebs. I was saying something about how there seems to be a weird thing with relationships where the guy likes playing video games and the girl doesn't know how to spend her time when he's playing those video games. And so it just turns into a cycle of him trying to enjoy his hobby, but being upset that she's upset that she's not spending time with him. And how my favorite time spent together thing is not necessarily talking face to face, but just doing your own thing and being in each other's presence. That's my favorite kind of time spent together. Just because it doesn't require, words. Sometimes I don't want to talk.
Yeah, it doesn't require spoons, is what we'll refer to it. Like if you have 10 spoons to get through your day, right? You burn up 1 or 2 spoons on your drive into work, you get into traffic, whatever. And then throughout the day at work, you're burning through another 3, 4, 5 spoons. By the end of the day, you only got a couple spoons left. You got to allocate those sparingly.
Mm-hmm. They're all plastic spoons, so you can't wash them and reuse them.
Yeah, no. once you allocate a spoon, it's spent.
That's
done.
Spent spoon right there. Yeah, that was the conversation we just had. Welcome to the podcast, Drew BB. This is on Spotify if you want to listen to any of our past episodes. One of them was about what animals I could beat in a fight, which is all of them.
Fucking none of them, Nick. Stop.
All of them. I went to the zoo, man.
We went to the zoo. Oh my god.
You're a fucking menace at a zoo, I bet.
He is deranged.
Of every animal I could beat in a fight. Okay?
Of course, groundhog. That's about it.
Butterflies and ants are S tier. I could kick those guys' asses.
Decimate, for sure.
Bears are B for bear. Because I could, especially zoo animals.
You barely survive an encounter with a bear.
Okay, zoo bears, he could probably beat in a fight pretty easily.
Are so depressed, I could definitely beat that bear in a fight.
No, fucking zoo bears have been incarcerated their whole lives. They're psychotic. They will murder you.
No,
tiger.
They're depressed. They won't fight because they're too depressed. We were at the zoo like 3 days ago. They're too depressed.
They're depressed because they don't think they have an option out. If you give them an option, I bet they fucking turn into maniacs.
Dude, they look malnourished.
Anytime any animal that could harm you gets out of the zoo, it almost always hurts you.
They're so skinny and flappy. They look malnourished.
It does not.
They will not.
The python, right? Here's
bear on death row can fuck you up. I don't care.
The expert move for fighting a python, right? It's curled up, right? It's gonna strike and it's gonna strangle you, right? Fucking sidestep, grab its neck, fucking chuck that shit. Okay, that's all you gotta do. Easy peasy. 3 steps.
Yeah, you just gotta sidestep and grab a lightning fast snake. That if it's attacking you, it's big enough to eat you.
Nah, bro.
No, garter snakes attack people all the time.
You said a python.
Yeah, but
python's most likely not going to attack you unless it's big enough to eat.
Well, if it feels threatened, it'll attack.
If it eats me, guess what? From the inside, fucking punch that shit.
Like, oh, there's your gallbladder.
I'm gonna beat the snake's gallbladder. Is the snake all neck, or is it no neck, all body?
Neck is like this much.
I would say it's all torso.
Neck is okay, so it's head, neck, body, tail.
I wouldn't even classify it as having a neck. There's no.
I guess the question is, if snakes had legs, where would they be?
Like right behind the jaw. There's like 3 segments of spine that are neck, and then it's body. Like, you know how when they curl up and their head gets all tucked back? That little tiny curly Q where the neck is, that's the neck.
What's
The
really
only-
fucked is flying snakes. That's fucked. Imagine a
That's
snake
fucking
falling on you.
That's fucked.
Looking up snake neck.
I would hate flying snakes, dude. Black mambas
Oh.
scare me, but the black
There
mamba
are-
that was at the zoo was fucking prepared for a fucking close up. That dude was
Don't-
covered in mist.
Don't look up snake neck.
I wasn't planning on it. By the way, there are flying snakes. You know that, right?
Yes,
Oh, don't look up snake
that shit.
neck.
No, I wasn't going to.
dude. The animal I wouldn't fight is a koala because I would feel pity on that son of a bitch.
Koala could fuck you up too.
No, they couldn't. Do you know why, Chance? They have the smallest brain to body ratio of anything in the animal kingdom. Not only that, their brains are completely smooth. They're so dumb, right, that they can only eat eucalyptus leaves which have no nutritional value, and so they sleep almost all day, and then they get up and fucking eat eucalyptus leaves again. They're so bad at keeping each other alive, the babies can't transition from milk to eucalyptus leaves because of the eucalyptus leaves lack of nutrition. So the baby, will nuzzle the mom's asshole until she shits.
Mood.
And then the baby will eat the shit because there's more nutritional value in the poop than there is in the leaves.
Believe it.
And their heads have a fucking special needs helmet built into them because they're so dumb and
They fall out of
lazy.
trees.
They fall out of trees all the time. And not only that, they have a mating season, but they don't give a fuck about the mating season. They're all about just unconsensual shit, okay? And the women are fucking too lazy to do anything about it, even though they don't want it. So they're just having babies all the time, and the babies have chlamydia because all koalas have chlamydia because all koalas are fucking stupid. You know what? I would fight a koala because fuck those motherfuckers.
Speaking of dumb animals, did you know sloths often die because they're so slow they forget their arm is their arm? They think it's a branch and they'll grab their arm with their other arm and they'll let go and they'll just fall out of trees and fucking die.
I'm sorry, that's fucking stupid too.
That's fucking so dumb.
Could you imagine a koala and a fucking sloth fight?
It'd be epic.
It'd
It'd be
be
a
the
battle for the ages.
slowest, dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
That being said, I do have to hop off. It was
Alright.
a good stream. Good
Yeah.
cast.
Good
Absolutely.
podcast, everybody. Thanks for watching. Cargill, you guys want to give an outro?
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.